So I'm planning to start making my chocolate in the morning, so I'm getting ready. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you some of the equipment before it's running. This is I believe it's pronounced Mellinger. This is the actual, they call it a refiner, or a Mellinger is the name. My granddaughter told me Mellinger is French for mix, I believe. On the bottom of this drum is a granite stone, and these wheels, the drum actually turns. You'll see that later. These wheels spin actually in opposite direction, and it sits down in there. And then on top of that goes the splash guard. Whoops, the splash guard goes over the wheels. And then on top of that goes this keeps the chocolate stirring. It goes, they reach down to the, they go all the way down to the stone. They don't touch the stone, but almost, and they keep the chocolate stirring. And then this screw goes on top. I'll put that on later. And then on top of that goes a lid. Now he does spit a little bit, so I put some paper down on the ground to keep him from splashing. I've also got a heater there to get it up to the right temperatures. Got my spatula. I've got a grinder to pre-grind some of the chocolate. I've got my chocolates ready to go. I've got my temperature sensor. I've got a, this is the chocolate butter, or the cocoa butter, my castor sugar, and my milk powder, because I'm making milk chocolate. And then finally, last but not least, I've got my blow dryer to preheat my Mellinger. So all set to go for tomorrow morning. I'm hoping to be finished short of a day. I want to start early in the morning and hopefully be finished before 24 hours. That's my goal, is to finish short. Because I'm doing a small batch, I should be done in short of 24 hours. So that's my goal. We'll see how it goes, and so I'll see you in the morning. All right, so it's early in the morning, and it's time to get started on making our chocolate. And the first step we've got to do is warm up our machine. So we want to warm up the machine because the chocolate has cocoa butter in it, and the cocoa butter we want to liquefy, and so the machine has to be warm in order to liquefy that. So we're going to warm up the machine to probably around 120 degrees, and so we're going to use a blow dryer to do that. And we'll get that going. While our machine comes up to temperature, I'm going to weigh out our components. We need 300 grams of each component. There's 0 grams. We'll tare that. Our cocoa beans. Look, oh, they smell so good. 128. 249. Okay, before we can start making the chocolate, we have to pre-grind the cocoa beans. The cocoa beans are too big to put directly into the machine. It would be kind of like a car running over a speed bump at 50 miles an hour. So we're going to put them into the grinder here. Put a few of them in here, and if you will, pre-chew the cocoa beans for the melanger. And you don't want to run them in the machine too long, because you'll start separating the cocoa butter. You don't want to do that. You just want to grind them up a little bit. So we'll do that and get a start for the machine. Away we go. That's good enough. Take out the so we've got our space heater going to make sure that this stays warm. All right, it's plenty warm. And so we'll go ahead and get this going. It's going to be fairly loud. There we go. There's mine. The wheels running over them. You can imagine if those were whole beans, they'd really be crunching. Alright, that was the sugar. It was splattering. The cocoa butter everywhere. Alright, let's check the temperature again. Only running 100 degrees. Now it's up to 104. I've got it. Let's get some of the milk in it. Thicken it up so it's not splattering so much. Reminds me of my favorite song. It's beginning to look a lot like chocolate. Looking at this chocolate, everything's telling me that it's done. It's only been 9 hours. So the chocolate machine finished its run, and I emptied it out. Sorry I didn't show you the pandemonium that was dismantling the machine and ladling the liquid chocolate into the cups here. I put some into the molds, but basically it was it's kind of turning off the machine and taking it apart and ladling it out as quickly as possible before it hardens. And so these, what I do is I put them in these, it's actually muffin cups that are soft. I don't know whatever they're made out of, but the chocolate comes out of it pretty easily, and I can put it in the microwave or put it in a double boiler and then use it later in whatever fashion I want. So this is the easiest way to do it. When I'm mass producing like this, and then I can do the batches later as I want. But this time I did put a couple into little molds. I'll pop those molds out later and have my little hearts and gifts or whatever they are. So that's the end of that, and looks like a successful run. So like I said, I finished making my chocolates, and here's a sample, and this is what they look like. And to be honest with you, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, so I'd say offhand they taste kind of like Cadbury. Maybe not quite as sweet as Cadbury. Every bit as smooth as any chocolate I've ever had. These are not amateur chocolates. These are professional grade A1 chocolates. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. So that leads me to some of my lessons learned from a beginner. This is from a beginner's perspective. So if you want to make serious chocolate, you're going to have to make you're going to have serious equipment. So specifically that Mellinger that I talked about, the chocolate making machine that you saw in the video, you're going to need to have something like that. If you're going to try and make it with a food processor or something like that, you're going to come up with a reasonable facsimile, but it's not going to be anything like this. To start, you have to pick the right cocoa pods, and remember, listen for that thump. Temperature is all important in making chocolate, so you have to have a way of regulating the temperature, and you have to have a way of checking for the temperature. So the way I did that is I use a blow dryer to initially heat it up, and I have a space heater to keep that temperature up, and I also use an infrared sensor to check temperature and a temperature probe for the specific temperature, because the infrared sensor is sometimes a little off. If you're going to use cocoa nibs, make sure to check whether they've been roasted or whether they're cacao nibs. And tempering chocolate is really tough. I haven't really been able to do it successfully. So good luck with that. I'm not gonna show that on this video. I'm going to try and do it later on, but I'm not going to attempt to do it on the video because like I said, I'm not that good at it. But those are some of my lessons learned. Hopefully this video has helped you out a little bit, but that's what I've got. Enjoy. That's some good stuff. That's some really good stuff.